Backs turn, Origi turn, shoots!
Build the dream in FIFA 20, pay less and get more, and use the code TVM at checkout for a bigger discount. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to another Team of the Week predictions. A massive episode today, packed full of players. I don't even know how many I've got in total, probably 30 odd. Sotar up first with 2 goals and a 5-0 win. I will try and get through the silvers as fast as possible because I'm pretty sure no one really cares. Force up next, a Finnish striker playing for Wimbledon. Doesn't look like a great card even if you are a fan of this guy. He's got himself a hat-trick though in a Wimbledon win, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him right at the bottom of Team of the Week 5. Gunnock up next. They are going to go in order of rating, but I've put Gunnock here because he's one of the goalkeepers, and I'm sure no one really cares again about keepers. 7 saves and a clean sheet for Turkey. Should be a shoe-in really because there aren't that many goalkeeper options this week. Moving on to Henry of Oxford. He got 2 goals in a 3-0 win, and this was domestic football. There was a few games on. Oxford winning that game, obviously 3-0. And again, doesn't look like a great card, but for Oxford, actually, not that bad at all. I'd be happy. Maynard up next. I think this is one of the last lower league cards that I have. He managed to pick up a hat-trick in a 6-1 win for Mansfield, and again, it doesn't look like a great card, but if you are a fan of these clubs, obviously they don't have many golds, or if at all anyway, so you'd be grateful for it. I know I would. Katana, I'm not sure how to say this guy's name. He picked up a goal in a 2-1 win over Tenerife. Of course, that is in the second tier of Spanish football. I mean, to be fair, considering he is in the second tier, it doesn't look like a terrible card. We move on to McLaren. Not quite as fast as one, but still, you never know in future. He's got himself a hat-trick in a 5-0 win over Nepal. I'm not sure whether EA have got a policy with internationals as to give 2 players from the same club an inform. Larson up next with 2 goals and a 4-0 win over Malta. It doesn't look terrible, but his pace is definitely going to let him down. I know they've done it in the past with players getting it from the same club because they've played for the different nations, etc. But we'll have to wait and see. Brabeck up next with 1 goal in a 2-1 win over England, and that is the only reason why I think this guy will probably get himself an inform because of the team that they've beaten. Kim Shin Wook, fingers crossed I've got the right Wook here because there's about 4 or 5 of them in game. 4 goals in an 8-0 win for South Korea, which is crazy. Worth noting as well, Heung-min Son with 1 goal and 2 assists in that game. I think he might get overlooked again because of those 4 goals. Petkovic up next with 2 goals in a 3-0 win. That side right there, by the way, last year they had quite a few informs, and they performed quite well in Europe, so I would not be surprised to see the same thing happen again with informs. Elmaz up next of Napoli. It's a shame that this guy isn't higher rated really by EA. He's got 2 goals and a Man of the Match award and a 2-1 win over Slovenia, so this is all but a guarantee in my opinion, but he is a really good player in real life. It's a shame that EA don't really reflect that. Nagatomo with 1 goal and 1 assist in Japan's win. I'm old, and I've played every FIFA there is, and I don't remember a FIFA when Nagatomo wasn't in it. So he must be ancient, but doesn't look terrible for an 80 rated. McGinn up next with a hat-trick in Scotland's 6-0 win over San Marino. I mean, you've got to take it with a pinch of salt because, I mean, even Liechtenstein could beat San Marino. So with that being said, I still think a hat-trick is a great achievement, and he should get it. Alan Kardec up next. Not a great looking card, but still a decent performance with only 4 goals in a 4-1 win. This was, I think, the only domestic Chinese league game that there was. So obviously there he is with his inform. McKennie, I mean, he is having an insane breakout season for Schalke, but he's also doing it on an international level as well, with a hat-trick and 1 assist in a 7-0 win. You need to look out for Schalke this year. They've got a lot of very good young players that could end up being world beaters at some point. Kano or Kano, the only information I've got on this is that he scored himself a hat-trick. It doesn't look like a great card in terms of physical or indeed pace, but it does look like he's going to be able to finish. So if you do have an Argentinian team, maybe just, stay away. Shirashev up next with 2 goals and 2 assists in a 4-1 win for Russia. Of course, plays for Valencia domestically, and it doesn't look amazing, although if you play him centrally, I'm guessing you'll probably get a little bit more out of him, because I think he looks like more suited to the central role. Moving on to Malinovsky. This guy, of course, has made the move to Atalanta this year. This guy looks like a good card. 2 goals and a 2-0 win over Lithuania. I think it was this year he moved, right? I'm almost certain he used to play for Shakhtar. I mean, if you are Ukrainian, you've played for Shakhtar at one point, I'm sure. But looks like a great card nonetheless. Looking forward to that one. As I am with Hinteregger. This guy looks really good from Frankfurt. He got 1 goal in a win for Austria. And as a person who has a Bundesliga side myself, I think this guy could replace my Boateng. With the Shadow Chem style in particular. Looks like a bit of a beast, although I would now need to check those work rates. Golovin up next with potentially his second inform in about 3 or 4 weeks. I can't remember when he got the last one. It's in the time frame that he's eligible now. 1 goal and 2 assists in a 4-0 win. That was over Scotland as well. So Scotland, McGinn, obviously up for an inform because they played against San Marino yesterday. This game took place before that one, of course. Meunier up next with a position change. 1 goal and a 2-0 win for Belgium. This one is a little bit like massive outside chance because there is a shoe-in Belgian player in here. So it depends on how desperate EA are to sort of boost the ratings and to put some position changes in. I doubt it, but you never know. Worth a mention. Lozano up next with his ones to watch card. I would imagine this is a guaranteed. 1 goal and 2 assists in a 5-1 win for Mexico. I actually forget. Bermuda, I think it was against. No, was it against Bermuda? I forget who they played. Either way, it did finish in a landslide victory for Mexico. And as a ones to watch holder, I'm pretty sure he's going to get himself that inform. I'd be shocked if he didn't. Dinier up next. This guy, I would say, is probably the favourite out of all the French players, if there are to be any French informs. I would go for Dinier with his man of the match performance and a 1-0 win. I mean, technically speaking, he's got himself a clean sheet there as well. If you have a Premier League team, you could definitely see this guy featuring because there aren't that many great left-backs at the moment in the Premier League. Schmeichel, sticking with the Premier League, he managed to make 6 saves and keep a clean sheet in a 1-0 win. Like I said very early on with Gunuk, the Turkish goalkeeper, I would find it very difficult to believe that he won't get this inform because there are only really 2 goalkeepers to speak of. Unless EA do an EA and give it to someone random. Gundogan up next, and this looks like a decent card. This is one that I'm seriously considering. 2 goals and a 3-0 win over Estonia, and Germany were down to 10 men as well because Emre Can did a very Emre Can thing and got himself sent off. You watch now, right? You go look back at the Emre Can's disciplinary record, and he's never been sent off in his career. But what I'm saying is he's just a liability. That's where it boils down to. That looks like a decent card, though, for Gundogan. Not too bad at all. Longley up next. If I'm mispronouncing that, I do apologise, but I'm not French. He's got himself a goal and a clean sheet, technically speaking, in a 3-0 win. It's the same 3-0 win. No, it's not. It's a different victory. France have won twice this week. Dinier, I've chosen from the 1-0 and Longley from the 3-0. So I don't know. I don't think they'll choose both of them because that's just overkill. In my opinion, they would go for Dinier, but we'll have to wait and see. Wijnaldum up next of Liverpool and Holland. Of course, he scored 2 goals in a 2-1 win for the Netherlands, and this would be a massively desirable card. Nearly 80 club across the board. I mean, the stats aren't official, of course. These are just random stats I've thrown together just to show that he's going to get himself an upgrade. I tried to be as conservative as I can, but you never know. This could be underwhelming or it could be bang on. It's definitely not going to be any lower than this. Gnabry up next. This would be a position change as well, actually, because he plays striker for Germany. As Germany don't really have that many strikers. He's got 2 goals in a win for Germany there. Again, this guy's been overlooked a couple of times so far this season, and someone who has a Bundesliga team would not be against this at all. Great pace, good dribbling, decent finishing, not too bad in the game as well, so looking forward to that one. Lukaku up next with his ones to watch. We've already mentioned Meunier, of course. I don't think it'll go to him. I think it will go to Lukaku with 2 goals and 1 assist. And again, take it with a pinch of salt because it was in a 9-0 victory over San Marino. No disrespect to San Marino, but they're never going to put up a fight against anybody, realistically. So, depends on how much EA want to cash in, I guess. Depay with 2 goals and a man of the match award in a win over Northern Ireland. Now, I think it's a different performance for Depay than it was for Wijnaldum. They were different games. So I would not be surprised whatsoever to see Depay and Gini Wijnaldum in the same team of the week for the same national side, but for different games that week. Moving on to Gareth Bale, this is a massive outside chance, but you never know, and if EA have got a brain, they will do it, because he doesn't get an awful lot of domestic football, so the chances of him getting many informs this year are slim. He's got a goal against Croatia. The game finished 1-1. It was a dramatic goal. It was a good finish, but Wales needed the point there. I mean, realistically, they weren't expected to get anything, so it was quite dramatic. Bonucci of Italy up next, with 1 assist and a clean sheet and a 2-0 win. And there's a severe lack of defenders this week. That's really the only reason I've gone for it, because in normal circumstances, an assist and a clean sheet against a much weaker opposition for Bonucci, I wouldn't normally do it, but like I said, we need centre-backs. Moving on to Pjanic, this is all but guaranteed, I would say. 2 goals and a 4-1 win over Finland. And to be fair, could feature in many people's teams, because he's going to have excellent dribbling and ball control stats with really good clinical passing, and the right chem style could boost the pace, and I don't think you'd notice. Really, really good card, and someone who doesn't really have an Italian team, I'm not that excited, but I wouldn't mind packing him. Alderweireld, again, this is a massive outside chance due to the fact that he is, of course, a Belgian. He's got himself a goal in that 9-0 win over San Marino. I'm pretty sure he didn't do anything else. Obviously, the clean sheet counts, but doesn't count for much when you're only playing San Marino. But I think it'll go to Lukaku, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him in there as well. And then we move on to Robert Lewandowski. I love this guy. I think he's massively underrated by EA. He should be, 92 rated. Just his base card should be 92 rated. He's an absolute goal machine. He's got himself a hat-trick and a 3-0 win. He also got 2 assists yesterday in Poland's win on Sunday. So, yeah, I mean, you have to give him... Player of the month or not, I don't care. You have to give him that inform. Guaranteed. And finally, Luka Modric with 1 goal and 1 assist in a midweek win for Croatia. This is probably going to be the catalyst of this week's Team of the Week. It would be a bit weird for them to say, it's a different game, but, here's Bale's in form and Modric is going to get one, even though Croatia and Wales have played against each other. They are for different, this is for a different game to the Wales game, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him in there, and I'd love him in there as well. Nice high-rated player ready for red picks. But if you think I've missed anyone out, I find that hard to believe, actually, because I've put far too many players in here. But that's what I like about it, I've put the players in who I think I've put good performances in, and some players I know, for instance, Gareth Bale put in a great performance against Croatia. He's got a very high match rate in there, but I know EA probably won't give it to him, but I've mentioned him because it's real world football, and I feel like he deserves a little mention, as well as a few other players in there as well, like Digne and Longley and things like that. But we'll have to wait and see what EA decide to do on Wednesday. I'll probably get none of them right because EA will do what EA want. But feel free to let me know if I've missed anyone out in the comments down below. Hit the like button if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.